Pronto, Vincenza.
Pronto, Randy, and welcome everyone to our Pronto podcast, which is our lifestyle podcast where we talk about all the beautiful things life has to offer, whether it be fashion, inspiration, current events, you name it. We talk about it all. And today marks our 40th episode of Pronto. That's right. Randy, how does it feel?
Feels like 40.
Feels like 40. Well, that's good. That's good. We're so honored that we're able to be on here and speak with you and also showcase so many influential people throughout our community, not just within the area, within the country and the world, which is truly what it's all about. We're here to inspire. And I think that's what's most beautiful about what we do here at Pronto. So, Randy, what has been new with you? How was your Thanksgiving?
I love Thanksgiving. There's no pressure. I'm a gopher. Like I just get stuff that my wife forgets. So, it's no pressure, but it's fun.
Excellent. That's so good to know. That's so good to know.
Family, right?
That's right. It's all about family, which is important. My Thanksgiving was great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I love being with family, as you know, and I haven't had to cook yet. So that's the running joke. When are you hosting Thanksgiving, Vincenza? And I'm like, well, I'm hoping that I can pass. But I don't mind helping. I don't mind contributing. I love coming together with the family. It's my favorite thing to do. And if you know me, you know that I spend my Sundays with my family. Sometimes I have to work, but majority of the time I always dedicate my Sundays for family time. And that's something that I treasure and protect so much.
Let me ask you, do you blend Italian food with Thanksgiving tradition?
Yes, we do. Yeah. We embrace the Thanksgiving food, the cuisine, the Thanksgiving cuisine. We embrace it. The turkey, the stuffing, the green bean casserole, the yams. We embrace all of that, but we always have to give a little Italian flair to it, whether it's an Italian dessert, or an Italian appetizer. So it definitely has an Italian flair to it. When my grandparents were alive, we used to have to offer or have available a dish of pasta.
Yeah.
So, but we've realized that that's a lot of food, right? Between the pasta, the turkey, the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, it's a lot of food. And we want to be able to function the next day since we do have to get up and go to work.
It's funny because Italian Thanksgivings last a day, right?
Yes, that's so true.
You start off like 2:00, right?
Yes.
And then, 4:00, you have sandwiches made out of turkey. And then, 6:00 desserts. And then, they start it over again, like
true Italian fashion. That's for sure. But what's wrong with that? Think about it.
I love it.
Exactly. It's time spent together and you can't put a price tag on that. And Randy and I always highlight the fact that you cannot take back that time that you don't spend with family. So it's very, very important to value time that you do spend with the ones that you love the most and making that time. I'm so busy. Randy's so busy, but one thing's for sure. We will always allocate that time for family. We will figure it out. Yes, it's hard. It's supposed to be hard, right? That's life, but we do whatever we can to figure it out. And we always have to push a little harder. If we got to lose a little sleep, work an extra hour at work the night before just to spend more time with the family, that's what we do. So, Randy, let's share with our audience about your experience because, as you know, Chef Celso LaForgia is he's already in the States, but he will be at V&M Bistro Saturday, December 7th for a guest chef experience. And that's our logo right there of the bistro. And we're really excited to host him. He's taking over the restaurant. But I have such great news to share with you, Randy, and everyone that's tuning in. We're sold out.
Wow.
We are sold out. People are coming from near and far to not just meet Chef Celso LaForgia, but to taste his signature dish, this spaghetti alla cecina. I have people coming from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Ohio. I have people coming from all over. I wish the place was bigger. I wish my restaurant was bigger to host. We are sold out. I already have people texting me, can you squeeze me in? I if it were me, I'd be like, welcome all, but we have to respect the chef's wishes.
Yeah. It's a funny story. This morning, I got a text from a woman that worked for me years ago, and she was a makeup artist. And she has gotten her Italian passport because her grandparents were Italian, so
Okay.
she could have dual passports. And she was living in Italy, and she went to Chef Kelso's
Celso's restaurant in Bari, Italy.
Yeah, yeah.
Get out.
And she didn't know at the time, like she, Googled him.
Okay.
And saw me pop up on her feed on Pronto.
Get out.
And she texts me right away, and she says, what's the deal? Like, how did you do this?
That's so cool.
Yeah,
that is so world. Cool. What a small world. Yeah. So your friend who goes to the salon, or no, just a friend.
She worked.
She worked at the salon at Curry Hair, Skin and Nails.
Right.
Has been to Bari, Italy, in Puglia, the region of Puglia, and has visited Chef Celso Laforgia's restaurant.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And she Googled it, and the Pronto episode came up.
That is so cool. Is she coming to?
Yeah.
She's coming. She's coming this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. Celso will be so eager to meet her too. I can't wait to share the story. Yeah. That is so neat, Randy.
Yeah. She loves Italy, and what's the chances?
Right? That's right. What are the chances? Yeah. And I think that's what's so special about what Chef Celso Laforgia is doing. He's offering a different experience that it's just the technique alone of how he prepares his spaghetti alla cecina. It's a very unique method, and it's unconventional on how to cook pasta. He takes raw pasta and he drops it in a frying pan and he chars it. And it's very different than what you would, he goes against all the rules, but it's something different and unique. And he's an acclaimed chef all through Italy. And he, even in New York City, the New York Times has been writing about him. Wow. And it's really, really awesome that he's able to come to Delaware and visit V&M Bistro. So we're very honored to host him and obviously have him and his entire team. He's coming with his sous chef and his team to take over our kitchen, which is really cool. We've never done this before. So we're very excited that someone from the town that my family is from is able to do something like this and offer such a different dining experience here in Delaware. So I look forward to meeting your friend. Yeah. And I know, Randy, you'll be there. Yep, so that's super, super exciting.
Yeah. And I've been following his Instagram feed, and it's really, really nice to see like he values like the history of New York, and, it's really nice. He
was in Philadelphia. And I told him, because he wanted to visit Philadelphia for the first time. And I told him, well, go to the Rocky Steps. Yeah. These Rockies, worldwide, everyone knows the Rocky movie. He went to the Rocky Steps, took a picture with the Rocky statue. He ran up the steps, like that's true Philly fashion. And then I told him to check out the Reading Terminal Market, because they have some great food options there, and it's a different experience. And I knew he would appreciate it, and he did. He definitely listened to all my suggestions. He was on Good Morning Wilmington today. We featured him on Good Morning Wilmington. Ivan had the opportunity, my co-host Ivan had the opportunity to meet him, and they just connected right away. And Ivan was like, I gotta come. I was like, well, Ivan, I have no more chairs left in my restaurant. You're more than welcome to stop by and say hello. But I am so sold out. It's so funny, but it's a good problem, because people are excited to meet Celso, and I'm very honored to be able to host him and offer this experience to the community. Yeah. But we need to shift gears a little bit, because talk about experiences. Let me tell you about this hair experience I've been going through with these brushes.
I was going to ask you, your hair is looking dynamic.
Do you like? Okay, so this is fresh too. I had the opportunity, thanks to Curry Hair, Skin and Nails, I was able to test out these ERGO brushes. And this one right here is the Ionic Ceramic Professional Round Brush. And I believe I was using the 2.5 inch. Yep. I was using the 2.5 inch brush for my blowout. And I was thoroughly impressed, because I'm big on doing my own blowouts. I've trained myself in all my years of pageants. and being on television, I've trained myself to do my own hair and makeup because I think it's very important to be independent, because sometimes your hair and makeup person gets sick or cancels on you. So you have
I'm going
to be
to
ready.
hire you part-time.
Thank you. I am honored you said that. But I had the opportunity to use the brush a few times, but today I did it full blowout with the curls and everything for TV. And I was very impressed because my hair styled, the curls held. And then what's the other brush? Where is it? Oh, right here, right here. Here it is. I have the bigger version of the polishing paddle brush, and it has like a curve to it. This is the mini version. And it was it felt like it was massaging my scalp.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like, oh, feels so good on my hair, because something that I take great pride in, but also because I have to, with my lupus, I have to be very careful with my hair care. I experience hair loss frequently, and I do everything possible to protect my hair. And it goes all the way, from your brushes that you use, your product that you use, everything counts, even my pillowcase.
And the way you comb.
Yes.
Start at the ends.
That's right. Start at the bottom, work your way up. That's very true. Very true. And I always am very mindful of that because my hair is so brittle. And again, when you go through hair loss and you're on television, it's a little tricky. So I always, and even just in general, no one, it's always tough when you're losing your hair. So I always say, protect it at all costs by using good quality products.
And ERGO makes a purple line that's super gentle on your hair. And it's great for extensions.
Ah, yes. That's right. Who was I talking to at one of your Curry Hair Skin and Nails locations? Rainey. Yes. Rainey was the one that shared that with me. She says, if you have extensions, they have like this great brush that you can use that's very gentle on your hair. It won't pull your hair out. And I said, that's really important, because I think many people don't know that you have to have a specific brush when you have hair extensions. Because it's protecting your hair. Yes, it protects the extension, but also your scalp.
Yeah, even highlighting hair, bleached hair, the gentle brushes are dynamite.
Well, speaking of ERGO hairbrushes, we have the honor of having the president and founder here today. It is with great pride and pleasure to announce our guest. Tens of thousands of professional stylists have been inspired and served by the creative energies of ERGO Research. Founder Robert Reed. Reed developed this passion of serving stylists while serving as president and co-owner of Hikari Scissors USA. He is widely credited by many as the main drive behind this world-leading and most exclusive brand. In forming ERGO Research in 1994, Reed was determined to research, develop, or even discover the most complete ergonomic collection of styling tools in the world. Reed is the creator of the successful educational program, The Art of the Blow Dry, presented to leading salon groups in North America. With over 4 decades of industry insight gained as a professional products distributor, manufacturer, as corporate vice president of sales and marketing for the professional division of Vidal Sassoon, that's a big one, and vice president of Sambila, a creative partner of Redken, Fifth Avenue, and over 35,000 salon visits throughout 4 continents. Reed is well-versed in the needs of professional salon owners and stylists, school owners, educators, and students, and has consulted cosmetology boards regarding sanitation practices. Reed continues to capture the imagination and allegiance of the professional salon industry in North America. Mr. Reed has been honored by serving as a judge for the North American Hairstyling Awards 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 24, and 2025 as of today. He is a board member of the Cosmetologists Chicago and America's Beauty Show and a recipient of their Lifetime Service Award. It is with great honor and privilege to welcome Mr. Robert Reed.
Hey, Pronto.
How are you?
Well, I'm fantastic. I'm a little bit Well, I'm recovering from such bountiful Thanksgiving with my family and friends.
Good, good.
Oh,
We understand the pain.
Yeah.
But I love how you worded it, bountiful. So that's true. It is very true. And we're so happy that you had a beautiful Thanksgiving with family and friends.
thank you very much.
Of course, of course. Well, Robert, you have quite the resume, really. And I commend you and I congratulate you for all your accomplishments because you can tell that you've worked very hard and you deserve it. And I wanted to make sure you knew after researching you prior to today and also reading that very, very accomplished bio, I congratulate you for everything you've accomplished up to this point.
Yeah. I second that. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Randy. Well, it's been a pleasure to know you. You know, we're just beginning our 13th year of our friendship and our
Aw.
service to the industry together. So, you know, I commend you for assembling such a great team. It was a pleasure being with you and your team during your day of recognition a few weeks back.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I want you to share the story of, when you were in high school, the first entrepreneur practice that you tried.
Well, in high school, it was a great pleasure of mine to begin a on-campus radio station with the #1 rock station in California at that time. It was called KNAC, and they were famous for breaking songs and promoting concerts in the Southern California area. So I invited them to create a station at my high school, Millikan High School in Long Beach. It led me to think about the opportunities in the music industry. I'd always wanted to be a singer, but I realized pretty quickly on I didn't quite have the voice to make that. But I thought there would be an opportunity to promote other top groups. So in my 20th year, I put together a small group of investors and promoted a concert at the Long Beach Auditorium, which seated about 6,000 people, and it was famous for concerts at that time. And my first bill was with Elvin Bishop, who was the headliner of the Sons of Champlin, which is a very popular group in Berkeley, California. And the third billing was a brand new group, not yet released their first album. It was called the Doobie Brothers. And for that bill, which was, quite an undertaking at 20, putting together my first business adventure, we lost a lot of money. So while the groups were all fantastic, the audience was great, and I went to work for the radio station to pay off my bill, which is what my father told me men do. Men don't vacate their responsibilities or their bills. So while working at the radio station, I gained a lot of experience, and I was exposed to my first great haircut which I learned about from one of my competitors. It was called fine arts haircutting, and I got my first precision haircut. But the bonus there is they also offered all the wine you could drink, so it was quite a pleasure being there.
Oh, wow.
You didn't know you had a good haircut when you left, right?
Well, I did. The hair just fell in place. And, I was a starving producer at the station at the time. So I went to look for a place a salon that maybe I could trade out some of my experience in producing commercials, and finally found myself in the beauty business.
Wow. I did not know that. And I am fascinated by the story and how everything came about. It's funny when you said that when you receive a good haircut, the way it just falls and the way it just lays. And I agree with you on that one. I know when I get a bad haircut is when I go to style it myself and it doesn't style. And I was like, okay, wasn't a good one. We're going to try again. Well, I want to talk a little bit more about your career and how you worked alongside the biggest names in the beauty industry. I know many people are familiar with Vidal Sassoon. I mean, that's an iconic brand, Hikari Scissors, Sambila, to name a few. Can you tell us where your passion for the industry came from and how it kind of all just it started? That's really where it came. That's really what the question is.
Well, my first opportunity in the industry was with a company most people aren't aware of because it has fallen from grace professionally, but it was founded by Jerry Redding, who was the founder of legendary companies like Redken and Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
When I was shortly in the radio industry, I was the spokesperson for a haircutting group who were fantastic and acclaimed haircutting trophy winners.
Mm-hmm.
They were fantastic on stage and cutting, but they couldn't really conduct a conversation while they were intently devoted to the haircutting. So they invited me to be their spokesperson. And during one presentation in Long Beach, Jerry Redding, this legendary person in our industry, many people call him the godfather of protein for hair. He was in the audience and he came up to me afterwards and said, "I really like the way you handle yourself on stage, and I would like you to go to work for me."
Wow.
His company at that time had 3 products. Eventually, they became one of the strongest, fastest growing companies in the beauty industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I joined him as a sales representative in Orange County, California, an area that had 10,000 salons, and that was entirely my territory. So I had to learn quickly and spread all over visiting all of these salons. So I learned quickly that education is the foundation of being successful in our industry.
Absolutely.
And learned a lot about not only the health of the hair, but the health of the body, because Germac started this trend of nutritional supplements in the beauty industry.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry was a great teacher and really inspired me to continue my learning. It was from there that shortly thereafter, a couple of years later, that there was an opportunity to join a brand new company, which had been created by several people who had left Germac. It was called KMS. Some of your audience may be familiar with those 3 letters.
Yes, I am familiar.
Yeah. At that time, the company was based in a ice factory in Redding, California. They hadn't produced their first product. And I walked in the door to see some of my friends there, and they said, "Hey, we knew you'd be here, so we saved Southern California as a territory for you." And I started my first distribution company in 1976.
Wow. Wow. Now, I know that we as you can, before we brought you on, Randy and I were just raving about ERGO and ERGO Research and the brand itself, because you are the founder and CEO of a phenomenal company. And again, I had the opportunity to test the product, and I am amazed. I really am. And I'm very particular about my brushes, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about ERGO. So how did it become, what it is today?
Well, while I was president of Hikari, which was a scissor company that began in the early 80s in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
a friend of mine, Tony Beckerman, had told me as I was exiting Vidal Sassoon. Vidal Sassoon had been acquired by a major consumer company called Richardson Vicks. He said, what's really needed in our industry is someone that is focused on serving the hairdresser, especially in the area of scissors, because scissors are fantastic to use when they're first new, but once you have them sharpened, they're never the same. Well, we put together a service team at Hikari that provided service to scissors that was equal to the way they were manufactured. So we were able to create a value of this scissor brand, which charged, average price for our scissors was 3 times that of our competitors, because it was really important to have the efficiency of a scissor service, just like it was when it was manufactured. Over the course of some years, I began to realize that everyone thinks hairdressing is such an easy profession, but it's really very challenging emotionally and physically. Emotionally, because during the time in the chair, the guests want to share everything about their life in a short period of time. Yes. And hairdressers are very empathetic, so they take it all in. But physically, hairdressing is one of the most challenging professions of all because there's many repetitive motions. The hand was not made to snip, snip, snip. So there soon became a determination that the efficiency of a scissor helped diminish the amount of effort required for hairdressing and help minimize or eliminate repetitive motion injury. I was approached by one of our largest customers, which is Supercuts, because their stylists would cut 30 haircuts, 40 haircuts a day.
Right.
And I began working with their insurance company, which is called the Fireman's Fund, to help them prevent or rehabilitate stylists that had injured themselves on the job through this repetitive motion.
Wow.
And I got a great amount of joy in helping some hairdresser be able to resume what they love doing, or help them prevent injury that would prevent them from doing what they love doing, which was serving customers and cutting hair. And this led me to want to understand what ergonomics was all about. And this is a term that's often tossed out, thrown around, used in marketing, but it's very simple understanding that ergonomics is the relationship between anyone's body and their workplace. It relates to everything from the floor to the ceiling. It's the surface you stand on. It's how far you have to reach for a tool. It's the amount of effort required, which is measurable, to accomplish the objective that you have in mind. So working with Fireman's Fund, I began serving these large salons to help them prevent their hairdressers from going on workers' comp, and helping those hairdressers who had the desire to resume their work by developing a training program that would help them understand that relationship between something as simple as a pair of scissors and the injury they could suffer.
That's a very impactful initiative.
Yeah.
Something that I'm not in the industry of hair, and I would never think of that, but that's very significant, to be able to provide that support through that initiative. And, you don't think of it, but it's true.
Yeah.
How you say the hand is not meant to do that consistent motion with the scissors, and the scissors are more refined and they're made well now. But even the initiative to provide the support for those that are injured, I would have never thought of that. And that's it's truly inspiring too.
Thank you. One of the turning points was at the end of a trade show, used to be called the Midwest Beauty Show in Chicago, now called America's Beauty Show, that I sit on the board of. And a hairdresser asked to see me at the end of the show. The trade shows are really all consuming. It's like running a marathon every day. But this person wanted to see me, so I stepped aside and he showed me, he asked me, could I help him fulfill a dream? And that's an unusual question. So I wanted to understand a little bit more about what kind of dream could I help someone fulfill? And he showed me his 3 fingers, and they had been fused in a fire. And he wanted to be able to cut his sister's hair for her wedding. So this touched my heart, and I wanted to understand, is there something I could figure out to help him hold a pair of scissors or adapt a scissor handle to help him be able to accomplish this dream? And that's what really inspired me to learn more about ergonomics, and the pleasure, the joy that I was able to receive by being of service just really inspired me to learn more and more about that.
Wow.
Wow, that definitely, if put it into perspective, to be able to create a scissor that would work for, this individual, I mean, that's impactful. Yeah. That's tremendous. And it seems that you have a phenomenal sense of work ethic, but also a big heart, Robert. And, just this brief time getting to know you, and I know Randy has known you for 13 years, but I can tell that you have a big heart as well as a whole lot of knowledge, because I have learned so much in just this short conversation that I would have never thought of. And it's again inspiring but educational. And I do agree with you. And Randy and I always say the importance of education. It's very, very important. As an entrepreneur and, all the things that you're involved in, which you are very busy. I think you're busier than us. What do you think, Randy?
Well, Robert had a factory burned down a month ago.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, Robert. Did you lose everything?
I just had to take a deep breath, really, to recount this. But on September 27th, we were surprised to receive a phone call from the fire department here in Valencia, California. We learned that our building had caught fire, and yes, it was a total loss.
Oh my gosh.
We're in the midst of recovering from that. I'm so honored to have developed a team that was up to the task of creating a recovery program, which was implemented within 72 hours to help us get back up and running and serving our customers again. So while that building is bare to the walls now and undergoing reconstruction, we have resumed our business. We're in the midst of shipping for Cyber Monday and Black Friday orders. So we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of orders. And we almost just didn't even skip a beat. We had promised our customers to be up and running and shipping within 6 weeks, but our team accomplished this in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So I'm very proud that I've created the culture where our team has gone through adversity and they've learned how to overcome adversity. We all, are faced with it at some point in our lives. In their short time with us over the last 10 years, we've had an economic downturn that just about bankrupted millions of businesses, COVID, and every time they're faced with an adversity, they've learned to overcome it. So I'm very proud of them.
Wow.
Robert, again, we are so sorry to hear that, but I'm happy that your team is coming together and moving forward and prevailing. And again, I do believe that stems from leadership.
Yeah.
I really do. So hats off to you for leading by example. And I'm sure it has been very tough. And I cannot imagine that. I just think of my restaurant and, God forbid, or a salon or any business. It doesn't matter where it is. It's something that's yours and being taken away just like that. But we are going to continue to pray for you and continue to send you good luck, because I'm sure there's a light at that end of that tunnel.
Yeah.
Right.
We had a big order a couple weeks before the fire, and Robert fulfilled the order.
Wow. Well,
not me personally. I have such a phenomenal team.
Yeah, it's a testament of your work ethic and your team's work ethic, which leads me to talk more about your entrepreneurship background. What piece of advice would you give an aspiring entrepreneur?
I think my father taught me, a lot. Part of it was learn how to solve the biggest problem or problems, and you make the most money. I mean, that's really an inspiration. It feels great to serve people, but ultimately to foster a successful business, you have to make money. So we look to help hairdressers and their customers alike understand that professional tools can provide them with professional results. Tie that into a professional guiding their guest about how to recreate their hairstyle at home with the proper products, the proper tools, and of course, a proper understanding. And that really is our purpose here at ERGO, is serving the hairdresser with tools that allow them to accomplish that very challenging, physically demanding profession, and also to help them in communicating and serving their guests.
Right. That's very true. Putting the guest first, right? The customer experience first. which is very important. So you served as a judge for, is it the NAHA? Is that the abbreviation, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, North American Hairstyling Awards.
Competition or awards. Tell us a little bit more about that. I'm new to this space, so definitely share a little bit more of what that experience entails and your responsibilities.
The North American Hairstyling Awards could be compared to the Oscars of hairdressing. It's a photographic competition, many categories. The category that I'm involved in is finishing. So this entails viewing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of entries by hairdressers who have gone through a submission and qualification process to be considered as entrants for the North American Hairstyling Awards. This work is stunning. It requires me to take a look at the befores and the afters and to judge what processes were entailed, both for the aspect of providing this work or creating this work and the themes behind the work. So this competition produces some of the most incredible photographic examples of why hairdressing is as creative as the most demanding or the most competitive arts in the world. And I'm very proud. It's really a testimony to the creativity of our industry that hairdressers take hours and hours and months and weeks and just such consideration for their theme, putting together and selecting the model, all of the necessary outfits and the lighting and the makeup. It's astounding. I encourage anyone to look up North American Hairstyling Awards winners and see the type of work that is put out in our industry. It's just as exciting. It culminates in an evening in Orlando, Florida during the Premier Beauty Show this upcoming June. It's recently moved from Anaheim, California to Orlando, and it will be attended by a couple thousand avid hairdressers.
Wow. Randy, have you ever attended?
Yes, we have 2 awards from Curry Hair, Skin, and Nails.
Oh, congratulations. Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's the Oscars of hair, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big
incredible.
deal. I'm going to look into this more. I am curious. I am intrigued. I didn't know that something like this had existed, like something of this caliber. And me getting to know Randy more and his profession, I have so much respect for hairstylists. I've always had respect for the beauty industry because I have a love for it. But I have even more respect for what the work ethic that's put into a hairstylist and the professionalism and the guest experience. And, it definitely aligns with what I do and my background in the restaurant industry.
Similar, really similar industries.
Right. So Robert, we were talking about the brushes before we introduced you, because I felt it was very important to give the brushes, their own highlight. I had the opportunity to use 2 of the brushes, the round barrel 2.5 inch, and then and please correct me, I don't have the box. Is it the polishing paddle brush that has the curve? It's much bigger than this one.
Yes, that's from our Super Gentle collection, and it's our Super Gentle paddle brush, ionic paddle brush. It's part of a collection that was created because there was a need in our industry to serve guests of different hair textures. Everyone thinks a brush is a brush is a brush, but we recognized some years ago that guests with fine hair or hair that's been blonded, because hair that's been exposed to bleach is hyperelastic when it's wet, so therefore it's very fragile and can be easily damaged. Guests with extensions and even guests with sensitive scalps needed a bristle. I know it sounds funny to the audience unless they're really into hair, that required a bristle that moved through hair differently and treated it more gently. So we introduced our Super Gentle collection, which now exists of 4 round brushes and 2 different types of paddle brushes. These, I heard your comment before that you said you thought they felt fantastic moving through your hair. So
Yes.
Super Gentle Brush not only treats the hair fiber differently and more gently, but it also is a sensory experience to the scalp.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly the best way to describe it. It was truly a sensory experience. And I know that before I had mentioned, I have lupus and I experience hair loss frequently. And I'm very, very conscious of the products I'm using on my hair, but also the brushes and the Super Gentle line that you offer. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was so gentle on my hair. And you know, when you brush your hair and you look at your brush and you see all the hair that's left, that's when I can tell if I'm having a bad hair day for me with, I want to say battling lupus, but I was very impressed. There was not a lot of hair on the brush when I was done blow drying it. And it just goes to show that it did the job that it was intended to do, blow dry my hair, not just blow dry my hair, but blow dry my hair well and be gentle with it. I was very impressed, even with the handle. The grip is also very nice. I also was talking with Randy that my hair did not get caught on the top of the brush, because that has happened. I've experienced round brushes that get caught at the top, or even there's a square, not square, yeah, square looking brush that I've worked with, and it gets caught at the top or at the bottom. Not with your brushes. I was impressed. Really, really impressed. Yep, that's the gentle line, right? The purple is the gentle line. Yeah. I don't have the gentle. I don't have the purple one in front of me, but they're designed very similarly. Very similarly, but not exactly the same. And in the picture, I believe she's holding the brush that I have. I think that's the one, and it felt so good on my scalp when I was brushing my hair. After I had done, finished blow drying it, I went to brush it just right before I was about to curl it with the curling iron. And I was like, wow, this feels so good. It's like massaging my scalp. That's how it should feel. That's the experience you should receive with good brushes.
Yes.
With my 46 years of being a hairdresser, we had times where people would come in with brushes stuck in their hair.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, you have no idea.
Really? You've seen it all.
Yeah. One woman, you couldn't even see the brush. It was entirely
oh my gosh.
encompassed.
And you probably felt so bad.
It was like 3 hours to get out.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful. Robert, when designing these brushes, what did you thought about it all? You really did. You thought about the sensitive scalp. And then my sister, she has beautiful hair. She has, it's thick, but it's a lot of hair, and she does not have any issues with her hair. She's very blessed. And I think she gets it from my mom, because my mom is also blessed with such thick, beautiful hair especially at her age. I would say she would do well with this brush, not the soft one. But I think the soft and the gentle line brushes that you offer, I think that anybody could use them, right? I feel like they would be for anybody, even if you have strong hair or thick hair.
Yeah, we've had great success with the Super Gentle collection. I also want to note that the sensory experience can make such a difference to one of your guests that may sit in your chair that maybe they're on the spectrum. And so this type of experience visiting a salon can be really disruptive to their how they're feeling at that time in the chair, because there's so many different experiences going on audibly, visually, and of course in a sensory manner. So there's a group called Sensory Salon. I'm sorry, one second. The sensorysafesalon.org. For some of your audience that may have a family member on the spectrum, I'm sorry, I have to refer to this. I got a little confused. The sensorysafesalon.org has a salon locator that a consumer can look up a salon in their area that's undergone training for how to serve this really important customer who has different needs. And part of it is in moving a brush through the hair.
Right.
The Super Gentle collection has been seen as very calming.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's a great experience, as you personally have had.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I was so excited to use is it called a polishing paddle brush? Is that what the other one is called? Not this one. It's the one that's curved.
The one that's curved is our Super Gentle mini or regular ionic paddle brush.
I have the Super Gentle regular ionic paddle brush, and I was so excited to use that one.
Thank you. In the picture that's on the screen, they are the brushes that are adjacent to the dryer.
Yes.
So yes, they are curved to conform to the shape of the head.
Yes, I recommend it to anyone, actually everyone. I highly recommend it. I was so excited when I was using it that I told my sister, come over here. I have to comb your hair, experience what I'm experiencing. And I even said it to my mom when I saw her. I was like, get over here, take your hair out of the hair tie. I want to show you what I'm feeling when I comb my hair. And I think that's a part of the experience.
Yeah. You'll be pleased. Curry has a Cyber Monday sale going on, 20% off everything. So if you're in market for a brush, get it now.
Yes. Yeah. No, they were selling out pretty quickly. I think I don't know if you restocked the soft gentle brushes, because I think I may have grabbed the last 2.5-inch barrel one.
I think we have an order.
Okay. That's so funny, Robert. You've obviously have accomplished so much in your journey, and you have so much more to continue to accomplish. And I admire your work ethic tremendously. I know I said this before, but it's important, that, Randy and I, we work hard, but it's helpful and inspiring and uplifting when we get to speak with others who are like-minded, because you remind us to keep going and continue to serve your community and continue to do a good job. And yes, it's important to make money, right? It's important. It's the whole purpose of being in business, but doing it well and solving the hardest problem. I love that advice. I love that advice you shared earlier. And I can't wait to share that with my sister, who is my business partner, because sometimes you need to be reminded of that. Yeah. So thank you for that. Please,
if you
Randy.
do what you love, money's a byproduct of what you're doing, right? Now, I'm sure Robert loves what he's doing, so the money comes in. Right, Robert?
Yeah, I would. I think the greatest accomplishment I have is in serving people in ways that they haven't been served before, or serving them better in ways that they've been underserved in. But in creating the team around me now and fostering new generation that's going to take Ergo into the next 2 or 3 decades, this is one of the most fulfilling feelings one can have, to know that we're creating something that's for today. It's also for tomorrow.
Well, I will say this. I thank you and your team for creating the soft hair care or hairbrush line for individuals like myself that battles lupus. Purple is the color for lupus awareness. Yes. So it definitely was another reminder that, to keep fighting and to keep staying strong, and to know that there are beauty products and brushes out there to help make you feel confident and beautiful, because it's disheartening when you're losing so much hair, when you comb your hair and all this hair comes out. And, it's tough. It's definitely tough, and it's emotional, and more cases are severe than others. So just know that Ergo products are definitely helping a very large group of people in the lupus space that are battling it. So know that you definitely have made a tremendous impact in my life. So I'm so glad that I was able to discover this. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Randy.
Well, Robert sent us the Super General brushes when they were in development, and people loved them. So I feel like I was a part of the brush.
Right.
Yeah. I might suggest that this is really a great time to suggest that a guest who has hair loss should have a conversation with their stylist, who likely can guide them into proper selection of products, maybe a hair loss prevention regimen,
Mm-hmm.
correct use of tools, because many times it's what we don't know that we do, that if we knew better, we wouldn't have those types of issues.
That's
But you
very
can
true.
rely upon your hairdresser who has this training, certainly in curly hair, skin, and nails. Their stylists undergo training constantly. So
Mhm.
they are a fantastic resource for these types of solutions.
That's all right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Education, Randy, right?
Education.
That's right. That's what it's all about. We have a question from one of our listeners. Any future products? Ooh, anything you're working on, or if you can disclose it. If you're not allowed, don't worry. We will not be upset.
Well, to Freddie Fashion out there, I'll let you know that we're excited in probably end of second quarter, beginning of third quarter in 2025. We will be introducing what we trust is going to be a revelation for hair colorists, because tools that are used in hair coloring, of course, have the objective of applying color to the hair, but most of them are super unfriendly to the hand. It's as though the people who create these tools haven't given consideration to the user. And we
Mm,
always pay attention in our salon visits to watch, to observe, and then ask questions. Our newest introduction is going to take everything we know about creating ergonomic handles, like our
okay.
silicone handle for our round brushes,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
into hair color application tools.
Wow.
So this collection of tools is going to be purposeful. We think it's going to revolutionize hair color application, because the tools are made to fit in the hand as the hair colorist is using the tools in a multiplicity of directions and ways. And they're also going to have interchangeable heads. So the focus is going to be on a great handle, but you'll have the option of changing the heads of the hair color brushes on the ends to use a variety of different shapes and textures in this great feeling tool.
That's
I'm sorry,
Wow.
that's
Randy.
brilliant. That's brilliant. Brilliant.
Yes. Oh, I'm learning so much today, but I'm sure, being that that's your profession, Randy, that would be tremendous for
Yeah,
hairstylists.
and probably like a little under 50% people are getting color. So that's a big service in our salons.
Oh yes. No. My mom has been experiencing difficulty with hair color products. She has such a sensitive
Yeah.
skin and a very sensitive scalp, but still has very thick hair, which is interesting. She has very, very thick hair, beautiful hair, especially, for a woman of her age, but she's been experiencing issues with color. So I've been helping her and trying, maybe something we could talk about later, Randy, but trying to help her find a coloring product that is not as, I guess you would say, harsh on her scalp, because she has gorgeous hair and she's not losing her
Yeah.
hair, which is, there's always something. So maybe Robert, I don't know if you know a product or two you can think about, and we can message later.
There's lots of companies that are producing organic color.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's probably an option for her.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about this later. But I want to make sure that we share with all of our viewers and listeners ways that they can follow you, Robert, because I think you're just full of knowledge, and your story is inspiring and again, accomplished. I mean, congratulations on all of your success and continued success. Make sure you follow Robert at, I believe it's there you go, at Reed Robert on Instagram, and follow his company at ERGO Styling Tools, or visit ergostylingtools.com. Definitely check out the line. I highly recommend it. And if you want to see it for yourself and you're located in the tri-state area, you can visit all of the Curry Hair, Skin and Nails locations, and you can check out the brushes yourself and hold the brushes. The way that the handle is, like you said earlier, and the way the brush is shaped, the sensory experience,
and the length
definitely is worth
of
it.
the brushes are
Mm-hmm.
quite long.
Oh yes, definitely. Robert, Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, Randy and I always like to ask all of our guests a traditional last question. And here is the question. If you could interview anybody on a podcast, who would it be and why?
I think I'd go back to thank you for inviting me to be part of Pronto, firstly. And I hope that some of what I've shared with your audience will inspire them to visit a Curry hair, skin, and nail location for the experience of using an Ergo product, but also the guidance that his stylist can provide them. I was really impressed by being in the room in Wilmington a few weeks back with several hundred of these really committed professionals. So I know that your audience can find a great deal of insight to their personal beauty regimen each day, their personal ritual, and someone at Curry Hair, Skin, and Nails can help them with that. I think the person that I would like to interview for a podcast would be the person who gave me my first opportunity in the beauty industry, and that's Jerry Redding. If your audience were to look him up, they would find out this person could always see tomorrow. He always had a vision for what might be next. People saw him as a crazy hairdresser because he started as a hairdresser. He began dabbling with color and he served many famous actresses in Hollywood. But he always had his vision 3 or 4 steps ahead of where other people were thinking. And I would like to ask him where he gained his most inspirational thoughts. How did he dream up some of these ideas about nutritional supplements in the 60s? Because people were just not thinking about inside. It was all about the outside. I'd like to ask him, I'd like to ask him, how did he come to the crazy conclusion to give me an opportunity in his company when we briefly met in a beauty presentation? He hadn't known me for 10 minutes and offered me the opportunity that would change my life.
Wow.
I'd like to find out his inspiration for thinking differently.
Yes. He's a visionary.
He was responsible for Redken color. It came from Jerry Redding, Red, and Paula Kent Meehan, Redken.
Okay.
And they developed Lapinol color. And it was, it's changed the whole color world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It seems like he was ahead of his time, really ahead of his time and a visionary. But he saw something. He saw something in you, Robert, that maybe you didn't see in yourself at that time, and that's how brilliant he was and is. So he definitely that's a good one for you. That would definitely be the person for you would interview on a podcast.
Well, and the good news about Jerry is he liked gin. So it might lead to some extended conversations. I think would have been fun.
Well, Robert, thank you so much again for joining us. It was a true pleasure to getting to know you and an honor. And thank you for doing what you're doing with your brush line and Ergo products and your line. And we wish you continued success. And I hope to meet you in person someday.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to that. And that the pictures of your upcoming dining experience and especially that special spaghetti that spiraled up.
Yes.
Oh, I wish I could make it. There it is.
Shout out to the production team for being on it with the pictures. Thank you so much, guys. Yes, the spaghetti alla Cecina. You have to check the chef out. His name is Celso Laforgia from Bari, Italy. He is very unique in his method of cooking and preparing pasta. It's unconventional. He was on the show Stanley Tucci, Searching for Italy, the CNN docuseries.
Oh, I'll look for that. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, Stanley Tucci was blown away by it. He said that this is the dish that slays. I mean, he really was like impressed with the whole experience.
It's his second season, I think episode 5.
Yeah, I think so. But if you go look up Celso Laforgia on and Stanley Tucci, you Google that, it'll pop right up. They actually just re-aired the show last week.
Oh, wow.
which I thought was so fitting that he's in America now. I'm like, what did they know?
Fantastic.
Right? So, but definitely
It's
check him
fantastic.
out. Definitely check him out, and hopefully
you.
someday you
When
can
you
bring
come, yeah,
there you go. Bring Robert to
visit.
the
Yeah.
restaurant. There you go. You're going to come to V&M Bistro. Randy will take you.
I would enjoy that. And thank you, Vincenza, for informing me about the purple color of our super gentle brushes and their symbolism with lupus.
Oh,
I did
yes.
not know that.
That's going to be your next telephone call, right? Headquarters of lupus.
The Lupus Foundation America. Well, the color purple can represent so many things, but I just thought that was something that, as I'm blow drying my hair and I'm going through the motions and feeling the sensory experience of how amazing it is, I'm like, oh, the brush is purple. Lupus awareness. Did they know that? So clearly you didn't, but I'm so glad that I was able to provide that tidbit of knowledge. So
thank you.
Robert,
thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, Robert.
We wish you continued success, Robert. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you soon. That's what we'll say, right? We'll see you soon.
Thank you. As I always love to say, let the shine be with you.
I love that. I love that. Let the shine be with you. Star Wars fan. I love that one. That was so good. Robert's a wonderful friend, Randy.
Yeah, we met.
He's a wonderful person, but so knowledgeable.
We were invited 13 years ago to serve on a panel for Modern Salon in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And there was like 6 people in a panel, and Robert sat next to me. And we began talking, and we've been friends ever since.
Well, he's definitely a good friend to have in your space, and I learned so much just from this brief conversation about the art of hairstyling products and the tools that hairstylists use. And I have a more appreciation and more respect for that profession. I always did, but I have even more just because of the information that I learned today. Yep. So he's definitely very knowledgeable and the perfect judge for sure. The perfect judge. Definitely. If he's been a judge that many times, 2020 all the way to 2025, he's doing something right? He's doing something right, but also just so accomplished.
Yeah, it's so prestigious, that award.
Okay.
So there's, many, notable people.
I will look that up. I'm going to look it up because I'm intrigued. But again, that's incredible. Again, Robert, you are a gem.
And one thing that he mentioned, and we've seen it time after time, that people, the door opens and they walk through it, right? And, as he said, everything that he was involved in, suddenly appeared, and he took the opportunities, and, that's what makes the difference. Right?
That's right. Well, Randy, another great show. As always. And for the 40th episode of Pronto, what better way to celebrate with someone as significant and accomplished as Robert Reed, but also it's always a true honor to co-host Pronto with you.
Oh, your pleasure's mine.
And again, a shout out to the team, because it takes a village. We always say it takes a village. So there's a lot of people working behind the scenes to make this all possible. And we're so honored that we're able to showcase so many incredible people, not just within the community, but also around the country and the world.
Yep.
So again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you
next week.
Yes.
We have an incredible guest next week. People tune in because it's Frank Turner. And,
iconic footwear designer.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He's made shoes for Snoop Dogg or people like that.
Celebrities, A-list actresses and actors. Well, I am here for it because I have a love for shoes. Yeah. So I am very excited for that. So make sure you stay tuned. And again, thank you for joining us. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms. If you're interested in sponsoring one of our segments, definitely go to our website and input your information. If you're interested in being a guest on our show, we are always looking for guests. Remember, we're here to showcase you.
Right.
and hear your stories and be inspired and learn. So we're always looking for guests within not just the community, but around the world. So definitely visit our website, prontopodcast.com. Follow us on all our social media platforms. You can go to our personal platforms or our Pronto Podcast platform on Instagram and Facebook, as well as our businesses, Curry Hair, Skin and Nails, V&M Bistro. Thank you for joining us again. Pronto, Randy.
Pronto, Vincenza.